name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants 5th edition homebrew campaign.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Spore Druid, and she is just a little bit obsessed with mushrooms.
Hi, my name's Simon. I'm playing the character of Ember. I'm a wildfire druid who's on a quest to be the very best there ever was.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I play Harry Harrington, the Harrengon, the roguish merchant with the heart of gold.
My name is Christian. I'm playing Bartholomew, the romantic dancing Owlin, Paladin of devotion.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be playing Niles Silverwind, the Owlin, Way of the Sympathy Monk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I play the character of Threign, the boisterous frost giant, the Goliath, path of the giant Barbarian.
Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of Return of the Giants may contain adult language or adult themes. Hello!
Hey, hello!
Welcome back, everybody. How are you all doing? It is wonderful to see all of your gorgeous faces once again. We are here. We are live. We are streaming Return of the Giants, the premier homebrew D&D campaign that you can catch live here at, well, normally 6:45, but tonight 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, or on YouTube or the podcast platform of your choice. Most Monday mornings. It's normally when it comes out, nice and early on a Monday morning in Australian time. We are so excited to be jumping in. There is a little bit of a storm currently hitting the northern parts of Brisbane, which means that we are currently sans Christian. Looks like he's having some internet problems and power problems with his storm. And I haven't really heard from Simon. We're hoping he's okay, because haven't heard from Simon in a little bit, so hopefully he's all right. Just checking when he was last online. Looks like he was last online a couple of hours ago, so maybe he's joining us tonight. We're not 100% sure. The good news I have to share, I've spoken with Jared. He is going to be rejoining us, not this week, not next week, but hopefully the week after. So that'll be super exciting to have Jared back. Super keen to have Threign back in the stream. So we're looking forward to that as well. Other fun announcements to share. Oh, I am having so much fun playing Aloft. The cozy survival crafting exploration game. It's so much fun. The episode link will be appearing this way for you to go click on a little info bar if you're watching on YouTube. Please do consider checking it out. It is loads and loads of fun. All the episodes of my playthrough of Firewatch will also be going live as well. Given what's been happening in LA with the fires, I've put a little message at the front of that, encouraging people to donate to the Red Cross or to the LAFD, Los Angeles Fire Department Emergency Fund. Those two organizations are doing a lot of really good work in and around the Los Angeles area to help people who have been affected by the fires. And I thought Firewatch is a good one that's going to hopefully catch that little algorithm and maybe send some people their way to do some donating. So if you watch the Firewatch episodes, do consider dropping a donation to either one of those organizations. The Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund, I think, will be probably the most helpful right now, given we're in the aftermath stage of the fires. So yeah, do consider that. Other announcements to share. I don't think we've got anything else fun or crazy to share. No, all looking good. Dave's looking clean shaven. He's looking really svelte. I really like it.
Yeah, no.
Clean, buddy.
I was enjoying your beard. You looked really wise with the beard, but you look almost like, I'm getting like athlete vibes without the beard. Esports gamer, esports athlete.
When I bowl, yeah.
Rocket League specifically.
I was feeling a bit old, so I was like, oh, I'll shave, feel a bit younger, feel a bit fresh.
Is that why you're also wearing a one-piece cap as well, or?
That's because I'm balding and I didn't want to put the glare from the lights back into the camera.
Thank you for that. We do appreciate it. I do like that. That's it exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rebalance your lighting now, Dave. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of effort now. No, also, I think then if we've not got anything else too fun or crazy to share, let's jump on into the session. I've got a nice recap to get us going. I've been practicing Lockie's voice because I'm going to have to talk as Lockie for a little bit. So hopefully we can jump back in with Lockie's voice and I can do it all nice and seamless. But if we nothing else to share, let's jump on in. Actually, I'm just noticing the music's a bit quieter than normal. Let me bump up the music a little bit. That should be a bit better. It's still pretty quiet. This track's like 10 decibels lower than every other track. You watch, I'm going to change tracks and then it's going to be like, bah, 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 like right into your ears as I play the theme song. I guess we could also show off, maybe we'll show off the world map in a little bit. I've got the new updated world map. Maybe we'll show that off when you guys get back to the surface. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, we'll save that. Let's do our recap. Let's jump into the session. Let me quickly put it up in my recap. Alrighty. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, is taking on the threat posed by the return of the giants to Nostea. Lyra, Niles, Harry, Ember, Threign, and newcomer Bartholomew are exploring the vast caverns of the Underdark, drawn below by rumours of stone giants taking over territory after forming some strange alliance with the Duergar. Having made their way through the treacherous terrain of the Underdark, befriending the deep gnomes of Blindenstone on the way, the party have infiltrated the remnants of the lost stone giant city of Ton Tenur, the city of stone teeth, and defeated Obsidian Foot, a Duergar abusing giant magic and the one behind the stone giant's aggression. With Obsidian Foot defeated, the spell holding the giants has finally broken, freeing them from the control of the corrupted heartstones. Speaking with the giants, the group learns a little more about the history of their kind and their absence from the world, having been banished to the astral sea in the distant past following the death of their god Anan. The group quickly realised, though, the fight was not actually over yet. The Duergar encampment, still housing the slaves taken from the Deep Dwarves, was sitting right on the edge of Ton Tenur. Accompanied by the stone giant Elakir, the group sped over to the Duergar district, finding the area severely damaged after the giants' attack. To the group's surprise, a contingent of Svirfneblin, deep gnomes, rushed out from the central tower, led by their old friend Gook. After a quick catch-up, the team carried on through the city in search of Threign, finally locating him now in a small town circle surrounded by the bodies of fallen Duergar. With the last deep dwarf warriors and slavers defeated, the group decided to head a little bit deeper in search of other surviving members. Heading further down towards the forge halls, situated on the edge of the lava lake, the team debated how best to approach the mighty furnaces. With the view from the spiraling pathway down revealing the site strangely quiet, the party attempted a slow and sneaky approach, hoping to stealth their way up to the side and surprise any enemies still lurking there. This did not go according to plan. The party struggling to maintain any level of stealth, making quite a bit of noise. Arriving at the base of the forge halls, the group suddenly heard a voice call out from behind some makeshift barricades, revealed to be a Duergar priestess. Coming out from behind the barricades, the priestess appeared tattooed with glowing symbols, which Lyra realised indicated enchanted tattoos. Revealing the death of Obsidian Foot at the hands of the party, the priestess welcomed them into the barricades with open arms, her order having been in opposition to him and the despotic rule he exerted over the Duergar. Behind the walls, the party found a number of haggard Duergar, deep gnomes, and other ex-slaves from the forge halls, having sought shelter after the attack of the stone giants. While Bart caught up with Flick, the deep gnome partner of Gook, Niles, Harry, and Lyra spoke a little bit further with Priestess Braelia, learning that Nyx had rushed down to the forge right after the attack and taken all the completed armor and weapons made from the giant alloy. After spending some time healing up the injured defenders, Harry spotted a Behir approaching the forge halls. Thankfully, this one seemed to be under the command of the stone giants, Elakir calling it off before speaking with the party once again. With the city now fully under stone giant control, the group suggested Elakir reach out to the storm giants, specifically to Sinmare and Lockie, hoping to inform them of their status and secure transport to the surface for the team. Inspired by this idea, Lyra decided to try and reach out through her heartstone to contact Lockie directly. However, something seemed to go wrong, Lyra instead feeling this vast network of minds suddenly connect with hers. Finding herself now under mental attack from this hive mind entity calling itself Sovereign, Lyra's symbiotic entity Swampy suddenly emerged to protect her, speaking with a raspy voice, "She's mine." Slightly spooked by this, the party checked in with Elakir, who had been successful in contacting Lockie, now on his way via teleportation to the central square. After a brief detour to catch the deep gnomes up to the current situation, the team made their way back across the city, just as a flash of white light illuminated the dais. Emerging from within the light, an enormous metal figure strode forward, clad in interlocking plates of giant alloy. With an excited wave and a "hello there," the figure was revealed to be Lockie, seemingly having been upgraded since the last time the party had seen him. We're actually, though, going to jump back 40 minutes in time. While Harry and Bart rushed off to go and meet up with the rest of the Svirfneblin and the Duergar coming from the forge halls, Lyra, Niles, Ember, and Threign, as you are currently set up awaiting the arrival of this group, as Harry and Bart return, having brought them up from the depths. you see the priestess, the one with those glowing tattoos, emerging, followed by a group of her other sisters, 4 other sisters, following close behind her. Similar tattoos, not identical, but similar, all glowing with this ethereal light blue quality, this sort of faint soft glow that almost seems to pulse in time with possibly their heartbeat, Lyra, as you watch. As Harry and Bard are mucking around with Gook and Flick, Niles, Lyra, you watch as the priestess who you had spoken to earlier, the one who had identified herself as Braelia. No, you guys didn't ask her name. The priestess you'd spoken to earlier, whose name you do not know, walks over towards you. I just realized I wrote down her name, but I was like, you guys didn't actually ask it, so never mind. She walks over towards the 2 of you, seeing Harry and Bart currently in conversation with the demon. You watch as she walks up and bows very deeply to the both of you, this very respectful gesture, placing her hand on her forehead as she does so, before looking up to both of you. Well, it seems you were speaking the truth. I've had contact with one of my sisters. They have spoken via sending stone. Conflict is over. The stone giants are now gathering up the rest of my kin in the courtyard over towards the west. I believe we owe you a debt of gratitude for wiping out Obsidian Foot and those who followed his order.
Glad we could help. It's not that we could have just sort of stood by and do nothing, so...
No,
By
you
the way,
could have.
I don't think I asked your name.
Braelia. My name is Braelia. Thank you for asking. It is very understandable, given the circumstances, why you would not have thought to ask my name. I do not hold it against you. I understand that times were stressful and you were on the clock.
Indeed.
Do you know what you guys are going to do next? Like, sort of have an idea of location, or...
We are priestesses and healers. There is much poison to be treated, not of the body, but of the mind. Poisonous words and ideas that Milgrim has placed into the minds of our kin. It will be some work removing them, cleansing those poison from their minds and their hearts, but it is what my order was founded for, to cure the ailments of the body and the mind. So we will work hard to do so. Away from this place, I think. We have a stone temple deeper down. It is not a location I can share with outsiders, my apologies, but I think perhaps we will seek sanctuary there until we can find a new place for us to go.
For an outsider, it sounds like a pretty good idea.
Sounds like a wise decision.
I should hope so. I have lived long enough to hopefully recognize passing wisdom when it flits across my vision.
Can I ask a bit of a weird and possibly unrelated question?
Of course, child.
Your tattoos,
yes.
back when we were in Oxenfurt, we found a tattoo studio and an artist that sort of painted and did tattoos in sort of ways that looked really, really similar to sort of your ones.
How similar
you're
are we
not
talking?
acquainted, are you? Like, probably not the exact same designs, but the way that they glow and they pulse and anyway, long story short, I had a good chat with her, and she was sort of saying that a lot of the ingredients.
This woman you spoke to, I don't mean to be blunt, but who was she? Does she have a name? What was her appearance?
That is a good question. I'm just going back through my notes. I cannot find the original one for the life of me.
It's okay.
It's like her name is like, can I roll a history check?
I think that's fair.
Do you remember the name of the shop?
Can I give you an advantage, because I was there with you, I think.
Oh, unless Niles remembers and maybe has it written down.
I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I remember they worked out of a studio in Oxenfurt called Inkspren.
Nice. Very nice. That was both the name of the shop and the name of the tattoo artist as well.
Oh, wait. The tattoo artist's name starts with ink. It has ink in the name.
Yes.
Yeah, it is Inkspren. Do you want to make me a history check, Lyra? And you are getting advantage from Niles assisting on this.
Fingers crossed.
I believe. That's a 5. Not starting well. I still believe it's an 8. Inkspren is all you've got.
Yeah.
Inkspren.
Well, all I remember is the name of the tattoo shop, Inkspring, if that rings a bell. But
no, I've never heard anyone go by that name before or under a shop. But the
they're
person
really
who taught
amazing
us...
wall murals,
Wall murals?
like painting, like all on the walls,
Soft
in
glowing
the same
paints, almost like coral-like in the design. Like it's... Maybe this
Exactly.
is the same person. Because we were taught this a long time ago, some of these designs, by a visitor from a different type of underdark. We exist in the dark below the stone. This one came from the dark below the waves. Similar mind, one who has lived to see
It
the...
might be the same person. It's Niles, wasn't the shop? I don't know. I vaguely remember it having a nautical vibe. I don't know why, but
No, it was very nautical. It was near the water, I remember, and we went below and down to what seemed to be like the depths almost. That's how I imagine it would be deep under the ocean. So perhaps this makes sense.
Indeed. This figure is an interesting one. My great-grandmother was the one who was taught how to apply these tattoos and how to use them, how to make them. A number of the ingredients that we use to make them are found only here in the Underdark. Certain types of fungi, bioluminescence, as well as other compounds extracted from some of the creatures that live here.
if you don't mind me asking, assuming it's not confidential information or anything, but do you know where we could find maybe some of these ingredients? I offered to bring some back for her when I next saw her, but I haven't exactly had the best luck in finding it. There's been some that I thought was close, but turns out they were not quite what we were.
Many of these ingredients are rare and hard to find. I'm not surprised you've had trouble. The secrets of where to locate some of them have been kept by my order for 2 or 3 generations. We're going to be leaving here. There is much that we cannot carry and take with us, and I doubt that we will be allowed to return. Stone giants seem protective of their city, a sense that I can relate to. We would be unable to carry all of our resources, all of our materials with us to our hidden sanctuary, and we have plenty more there. Would you be willing to look after them? It would be a shame for these items that have been hard to acquire, that have been dangerous to acquire. It would be a shame for them to go to waste. I would much rather that they are used. I could allow you to take them.
Thank you.
I think
Thank
it
you
is
so
a
much.
fair recompense for saving our people from the poison that Melgrim was trying to sow. No, I will send one of my sisters. It looks like your people are currently in conversation with the Deep Gnomes. I will send one of my sisters to go and collect it. Where should we deliver it to or send it to? If we are unable to find you or get it to you. Where are you headed next? What are your movements?
Probably the Tempest Guild in Oxenfurt might be the safest, right, guys? Like we're probably going to go back to the guild at some point.
I think that's probably our
that's
first port of call when we return to the surface.
There may
That's
be
where the Tempest
another
Guild and the tattoo
way.
shop is.
There may be another way to get this to you. As long as you're not leaving immediately, as long as there is a direct line to get to you, it wouldn't be too heavy. No. You watch as she concentrates, as some of the tattoos across her body flow off her shoulder down onto her hand and form into this winged shape, emerging from her skin as the ink pulls itself free. You watch as she summons this animalistic form to her hand. Long and sinewy, almost like the body of a snake, but with these 4 clawed feet emerging from the body and these large wings. A layer of feathers sprouts across its body, and you watch as the head yawns, this long snake-like tongue flicking out as not a very dissimilar figure to the lungworm that you saw in the deep depths. This almost looks like a feathered pseudo-dragon, or a variation of a pseudo-dragon. As she summons the familiar from her tattoo, you watch as, the tattoo forms into the shape of the familiar and then emerges from her skin, growing and pulling free, leaving behind this almost like negative of the tattoo. Now, where the tattoo was, is black ink with no magic left at all as it pulls itself free into the pseudo-dragon. You watch as she concentrates and looks at it, speaks in Deep Dwarf for a moment to it. Who speaks Dwarvish? Sick.
I don't actually.
I don't think either of you three do. I think it was only
Ember
Ember.
and-
We've had this discussion. Only Ember speaks Dwarvish. No, Ember doesn't speak Dwarvish.
No.
Only
Harry
speaks Dwarvish.
Harry does.
Does he?
I think you do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do.
Yes, obviously, yeah. I picked it up, didn't I? Because the new 2024 rules meant I could pick up an extra language.
I actually, for some reason, I speak Halfling, but like it's never come up.
Well, that's good for me to know, especially if you are heading back to Oxenfurt. I mean,
Yeah.
the population in Oxenfurt is almost 30% halfling.
Well, there you go. Oh, perfect. There you go.
I speak Thieves Can't, and that has never come up. So
You can't. That's a shame.
yeah.
No.
Maybe if you try harder.
Well, yeah.
More practice. Then you can thieves
More
can.
thieving. Yeah,
More like thick hand,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Can I say I want to call out a YouTube comment. Let me see if I can find who it was from. Someone I think it was Jalen in the YouTube comments pointed out a really cool idea that I kind of wish was canon, but unfortunately it's a little bit different. But they wondered if maybe the heart of gold Harry had found was like a fragment of Anam's heart that had split free, and that was the heart of gold he's been carrying around this whole time. I thought that was a really cool
that's
suggestion.
such a cool idea.
I want to credit the person who said this properly. Yes, it was Jalen. I was right. There you go. Yeah, I really liked that. That was a cool idea. I like that a lot.
It's a great idea.
Unfortunately, Harry's heart of gold is only metaphorical. It's not real. we joke like it's real. Well, I saw Dave do a quick
I'm not convinced.
glance.
Yeah.
Maybe Harry doesn't want to let you know that it's real, so that no one steals it from him.
True. If there's ambiguity, then maybe there's safety, right? I get that.
That's true. That's very true.
As you watch as the Duergar priestess speaks in Dwarven to her familiar, you watch as it kind of screeches for a moment, flaps its wings, and then takes off at a hurried pace. She holds out her hand, which is now glowing with a symbol, and goes, "My familiar should be back in the next 10-15 minutes. She's going to fly over to our stockpile and grab as many of the items as he can in a rucksack for you. I can have him travel to one of you to deliver these, but I'll need to mark you. It won't be permanent. Only for the next hour this mark will stay. Who would like to be the focal point for this? You, my daughter.
I can be. Help us. Hand out the arm.
This will sting a touch. This is going to pierce through your skin. The ink will... Yeah, she slaps it onto your face. This will sting a wee bit, my daughter. This will sting a wee bit as the ink has to penetrate through your skin. The mark will stay there for an hour and then will fade. Try not to...
Rip my teeth and look over the shoulder.
Scratch it. Yeah, try not to scratch it too much if you can avoid it. She holds out her hand, you watch as her fingers begin to glow, and this spiral, almost like draconic spiral, seems to form, ridges and spines growing out of the spiral ink as she places her hand upon your hand. She wasn't lying. Lyra, it stings. You feel this almost like burning, prickling sensation spread up your arm, and then as you pull your hand away, pins and needles assault your fingers. You feel the need to kind of move your fingers as you lose all sensation in them for a moment. And then as you look down at your skin, you watch as the ink flows and forms into that same pattern on your skin. There. You will be able to find you now.
That is really cool and really weird. Hey, is there a family? You mentioned that, was it your grandmother, your great-grandmother?
Great-grandmother, yes. Yes.
Would you, if you want, if it is the same tattoo artist, I can let her know that her descendants are doing well, I guess. Or if you want to contact, I don't know, it's apparently the thing that people do when, they haven't seen each other for a long while, but not that you guys have ever met, but I don't know, I'm kind of just digging myself down a hole here, I think.
No, that's a lovely offer, and I would not know if she would care or not, but if you would like to pass on the message, you can tell her that our guild, our organization is doing very well. We have taken on the messages that she taught us. My grandmother, Arahia, great-grandmother Arahia, she rose to be the Mother Superior of our order and led us for many, many long years before she died of old age.
Oh, I'll definitely pass on the message. If you don't mind me asking, I don't think we asked for the name of your order either. Is it something that you're free to give?
The translation isn't exact. There's a couple of different ways you could say it. The Sisters of Silence is one of them, but it's not a great translation. It sounds way better in Dwarvish. Achtung Veskend. Again, it doesn't translate very well. The Daughters Under the Night, no, it's not right either. You'll have to forgive me, the translation's not exact.
I hear ya. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's more than we even expected. I mean, thank you.
No, thank you for freeing us from Melgrim's poison.
I did actually, before we leave, I did have some questions for you. Maybe more so advice, as one race to another. It has dawned on me recently that the aristocracy doesn't seem to be all it seems, and I fear that we are heading towards conflict between our people. I was wondering, as a Duragar and as people who have faced adversity before, perhaps being, within your own tribe, between your own people, how have you managed to navigate that? How have you managed to survive all this time?
It is complicated. Many of my people still serve La Durga, a evil, conniving, want-to-be god, a mischievous entity with godhood as its goal, and it has often led my people astray. Our people, we can be greedy, we can be vain, we can be prideful, and that has sometimes led us down a darker path. The event you people above called the Ruin, we have a similar name for it here. Our people were severely affected. Not all of us wished to serve those betrayer gods. There were some of us who saw that this place, this world, was big enough, large enough, and rich enough for all of us. We were the first ones that were taken, that were hurt by these servants of the betrayer gods. I don't have a secret for you. I don't have a way for you to weather this storm. But I will say, knowing what is right, doing what is right, they are hardened, crystallized gemstones. They might sometimes be buried by the landslide, covered by the molten rock. But they stay hard and they stay true as long as you stay and keep them with you. Try to weather whatever comes. For even the hardest rock turns to dust in due time.
Cool.
It's hard to come up with words of wisdom that are thematically appropriate on the spot. I'm sitting here, my brain's like exploring various pathways. I hope that made sense.
No, makes sense.
I was a passenger. My mouth just took over for a bit there.
No, very wise.
I thought it was great. Niles just sort of goes, yes, thank you.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah.
You
Preach.
Words ring true. Amen, brother. I think Niles just nods and goes, yes. Thank you. I will take those words on. I fear that I will face my own adversity when I return to the surface, but I think your words ring true for me. I hope that we can weather this storm and come out all the better for it. It's going to be much to think about.
Thank you, all of you, for freeing my people from their own stupidity. Again. It's a shame that they seem to forget the wisdom of the past and the wisdom of the sisters every few generations, but they'll come back to it eventually. This tyrannical rule, this movement towards tyranny, it dies just as quickly as it lives. But it is
just gotta outlast it.
Yes, and it is good to oppose it. It is hard, but it is good.
Good to know.
feel like we're getting a bit meta. Never mind. There's no messages here. We are not making any comment, but I am clearly. My rabid socialist tendencies, my rabid left-wing tendencies once again rearing their head.
Wow.
I like it's not quite the make the swamp great again that we did in Tyranny of Dragons. I feel like that was a bit more on the nose with Firbolg Spatagu.
Wow.
I made Donald Trump a frog. Tyranny of Dragons.
You and me too. You and me both, brother.
Wasn't
all
hard.
good.
Right. Well, I better go check on the rest of my people, make sure they're safe, and looks like that giant you're with is growing impatient. Strange. My understanding of stone giants was that they had the patience of stone, but not this one. Seems to be rather anxious. I'd rather not be around.
If you need anything from us or from anyone on the surface at any point, definitely feel free to reach out to the Tempest Guild. We're out of Oxenford, and we're always happy to help. I look over at Niles.
I instinctively pull out one of the painted business cards and just hand it over.
Oh, this is very nice. Yes. The paper of this is so soft. What type of fungus did you make this from?
I believe that is a Umbarium mycelium. 300 gram.
Oh, not heard of that mushroom before. Is this a surface growing fungus?
Indeed. It's been cultivated quite expertly by a bunch of gnomes up there and formed into a nice thin mycelium layer. Very sturdy, very strong, very good for printing.
Printing? I've heard of this technology, stamping things with ink over and over again.
Indeed, yes. You basically can create you have similar principles for it down here. You can create an embossed or debossed design into stone or metal, and then you can press it into different types of material. This is the mycelium, but you can use it with leather or paper, and all you need is an ink of some description, whatever you would like. Break it down into a pigment, apply, and then there you are.
The fibers of the barrel stalk actually might suffice for that.
Ah. Perhaps there's a future for us. If we can provide supplies to the surface. It's not something we've considered trading up to the surface world before, but times are changing. And we are now at a point where we are vulnerable. If the drow were to advance or to make a sudden play, there are low-sworn drow down here who would see our moment of weakness and capitalize on it. Perhaps this is a way to shore ourselves up and protect ourselves for the future. You've given me something to think about. For that, I thank you. I best get to my people, and you best get to yours. The storm that you were talking about coming. I hope you weather it. And I hope that you come across people who can do for you what you did for us. Unexpected allies.
Indeed, that is my hope as well.
And with that, the timelines reconverge. Ember and Bart and Harry rejoin the three of you. Actually, mostly just Harry and Bart rejoin the four of you. You are brought along to the center of the town square, and we jump back right in where we left off last session. The intro with Lockie standing there, smiling as you emerge. Hello there. As he looks down at you, he goes, "My, you are so small." Ha ha! I am kidding. And then you watch as Lockie's plates begin to lock over and interconnect. And as they do, he seems to collapse in on himself. The mass rapidly shrinks down as Lockie's plates move and shift and fall over one another as he shrinks down into humanoid size, into a size of a medium creature. That was perfect timing for Lockie's artwork to be up on stream. As the process finishes, you watch as Lockie stands there before you. He is looking really good. The plates, the armor has been cleaned, parts of it have been replaced. You can see that gauntleted fist that was partly broken, covered in runes, has been fully repaired. A patina of energy glows across it, and the whole thing has been encased in what looks like a crystalline lattice work, trapping in this lightning that moves across the surface of these runes. You watch as he looks towards you, unable to smile, but you can see him sort of cock his head in an amused way. Hello there. It has been some time since I saw you. How are you doing?
Yeah. Like you saw our eyes, Lucky.
It is a pleasure to finally meet you, Master Lockie. I will bow politely to Lockie, who I don't think I've met.
No.
Actually.
Oh, yeah.
Only Lyra has
I
met Lockie at this
introduced
point.
everyone. Hi,
Would you-
Lockie. We've got some newbies.
I've heard so much about you, Master Lockie. It's good to finally meet you.
Just Lockie is fine. Lyra, you say your eyes are sore? Perhaps you need some sunlight. You have been down in the Underdark for 5 days.
5 days.
It has.
We slept like what? Twice down here?
Yes, you must
was
be
wondering
exhausted. No wonder your eyes are
why-
sore.
I was wondering why I
Except
was so
3 times.
tired. Yeah. So, what are you doing here, Lockie? You wanted to see us?
I thought you had instructed the stone giants to summon me. The stone giant called Eliki
yes.
had reached out.
That is correct. Sorry. That exhaustion is getting to me. It's been a bit.
There's a lot happened.
Yes.
Yes, this place looks much different from when I last was here. As he looks around at the stalactites and stalagmites.
When
Yes.
were you last here?
Well, the old chronometer is not what it once was. We have yet to figure out exactly how long I was here after the giants left, but I think it's been a number of years.
Number of years, okay.
Possibly 2,000, maybe more. As he looks around. Judging by the growth of the stone on that stalagmite. It's been a while.
Completely unrelated question, but Lucky, when you're giant and then when you come down to being small, where do the extra metal pieces go? Because if they just kind of stacked like they look like they stacked, you'd be like a kilometer wide.
Oh dear, you appear to have dropped something.
I was gesturing and knocked over my water bottle.
It is an interesting question, and one which I have posed to Sinmare. As far as I understand it, parts of me exist in a pocket dimension kept within my core. Like a bag of holding, or a handy haversack, or a portable hole. I'm a portable Lockie.
What would happen if you got in a bag of holding?
I don't know. I imagine it would be catastrophic. That's why I have never stepped inside a bag of holding.
That's a good, yeah. No, I wouldn't want that to happen.
As Harry pulls out his bag of holding and puts it around his head.
Harry, no.
As you pull the bag back, Harry, you see your own face staring at you as goes.
Harry wakes up and it was all a dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Kept in front of a spire.
It was all a dream.
Wake up, Harry.
Well, I guess we called you because, well, we wanted to leave the Underdark and also to report our findings. Obviously, the situation here is somewhat under control. I am under, I know that you did say the directive from Mira was just to investigate the stone giants, but I think we've done a little bit more than that, as you can see.
Yes, I was partly filled in on the plan for your adventure down here. You were sent down to investigate, correct? How has your investigation gone? I see it has resulted in alliance with the stone giants. You will learn very quickly the Tempest Guild are sometimes given directions, but it very rarely is how things pan out. My old friend Jin used to say, no plan survives contact with the enemy.
That is Jin. Oh, Jin, yes. That is true. Jin is right. Yes, wow. That does sound like something Jin would say.
Yes. I'm not saying the stone giants are enemies, of course. But it is good to keep in mind that sometimes improvisation is key.
Not only did we investigate the stone giants here, we also made a friend, an ally, along the way, Bartholomew of the aristocracy.
He nods.
Gesture.
Nods to Bartholomew.
Excellent.
Well, if you have traveled with this lot, and you feel like all is going well, you are welcome to join them, as long as it is okay with you. I have always said, the more the merrier. I was, of course, one of the more who was invited to be merry with the Tempest Guild.
Another question for you, Lockie. I mean, I don't know if we're going to go back up to the surface now or if we're going to chat, but probably more pertinent is I just kind of point at my hand. We have these heartstones, I think they are.
Yes, we need to have a longer chat about that. Mira did tell me about this in the most recent report, and Yervith made a special effort to fly over to the Storm's Redoubt to tell me as well.
Oh, wow, okay.
You made quite an impression on Yervith, all of you. Well, Lyra, he already knew you, but the rest of you.
It has like that.
Well, that's great. To be recognized by Yervith? Oh, my.
Yes, he was quite concerned about the metal you'd managed to get stuck in your fingers, is how he said it.
Oh. Well, yes. No, I am confused and concerned about that as well. And also the memories and the going back in time and the souls and the dream. Yeah, there's a lot.
I am not an expert on these things, but I should tell you, the fact that they've bonded you at all is very peculiar. These were designed to be used by giants, and only giants should be able to activate them.
Have you been able... Oh, sorry, Lyra, you go.
The quartz, scary quartzy guy that we ran into when we were around before the hill giants.
The cultist?
There was a stone dynasty.
The elemental fellow from the city.
Did this make it into your report? I don't think I've read this.
I don't think we've written a report.
You didn't mention this to... didn't mention this. I made a note of what you mentioned and what you didn't. From my memory and what I've got written here, you actually didn't mention the whole shebang with the Ganassi. You did send Tetra and Nowdiz to go and investigate that though in the elemental states. That's where they've gone. They've gone to Dromethion in the elemental states to kind of find out more about this strange Ganassi like Tetra who was able to, yeah.
That's when I'll be like, oh well, we actually didn't add it to our report because that's where now this and Tetra have gone to report the in the city, the elemental cities.
I am told this is also a very fundamental part of being a member of the Tempest Guild, failing to report relevant information to authorities when it is required. I believe that we failed to report 1,672 critical pieces of information during the rise of Tiamat. I kept note of all the things we did not report. I reported them to myself.
Why did Lockie?
No one said we should, and nobody asked.
It's because we've probably forgotten.
I distinctly remember standing before the Council of Dragons, and I could not find the information I required. The second we stepped out again, the Council of Oxenfurt, the second we stepped out those doors, all of it came flooding back. It was bizarre.
Oh my.
Yeah, Sassurus already roasted us over the coals for that one.
I believe magnets were somehow involved.
Oh.
How do they work?
How do they work?
How do they work?
Oh, it's fun doing callbacks to Journey of Dragons. Because you, like, to be fair, you guys constantly just did not tell things to people when you neaded to. Just constantly.
I have not felt worse for an NPC after that one.
Than Sassurus. Yeah, you fucked over Sassurus
Was that when you were like, Sassurus told you to say something and then we forgot to say
There were like
or something?
multiple things where Sassurus was like, can you discuss this, don't discuss this. And you didn't discuss the things you didn't discuss it. And she's just like, she's standing there being like, what the fuck?
Just didn't tell her half the shit.
Yeah, because she'd made an initial report. You guys came in and revealed all this stuff and she's just being blindsided by this, being like,
I remember that. I remember that to the core.
I'm the head of our intelligence network right now, and I don't know what you're sharing. She was not happy with you guys.
I do remember that.
That was fun. That was quite fun playing Sassurus that day. It's always fun playing Sassurus. He's a great character. We should see Sassurus in the campaign. I'll find a way to bring Sassurus in later. She was fun.
If only we need something to do with spies and information gathering regarding an upcoming
That's right.
war.
If you need access to the Harpers, that's where you find Sassurus.
Does Sassurus work for the Harpers?
She and Jin do, yeah.
Okay. But Gloria, who does she work for?
Also,
works for or uses them.
That's a loose term.
Harpers were a means to an end for Gloria.
She's a contractor. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I can take you back to the surface whenever you are ready. I would like to take you direct to the Storm's Redoubt, but things have become complicated there. So instead, I think I'll take you to the Tempest Guild back in Oxenfurt.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
can we wait like 5 minutes? Has the
Lyra, for you, I can wait 10.
Dragon
Not yet.
Has the pseudo dragon managed to catch up to Lyra yet? If it was 40 minutes.
There's other things to do here. I don't know if you guys remember, but this is also the location. If I describe the town square once again.
I was about to...
Harry's been keeping quiet, but Harry wants the foot, the chest, and he wants to ask Figment if Figment wants to be introduced to Lockie.
Oh.
And he also wants to then ask about the hammer if Figment wants to be introduced to Lockie.
If Figment wants you to tell Lockie about the hammer.
Oh, and about him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good questions. Harry, as Lyra and Niles are kind of But Niles geeking out, Lyra just stoked to see an old friend. Harry, as you sneak on over, yeah, the stone giants haven't really cleared up this area at all. The obsidian foot is just lying there, right where
it's not there anymore. It's
in your bag. Yeah. Could you please add obsidian foot to your bag of holding? We will discuss this later, unless you wanted to do an investigation or a little check of it now. We'll talk about it.
Harry's gonna open it with.
Wait, before it goes in the bag, it also doesn't have a pocket dimension or anything in it, does it?
Well, do keep in mind that Harry does have the wand and also the glasses for investigating stuff.
And Harry also currently has a bagman living in his bag of holding as well.
Oh yeah, the bagman.
Should we put it in Niles' bag?
Niles might also have a bagman.
It doesn't matter. I might also have.
The bagman is Schrodinger's bagman. Like, as long as he's in one of the bags, so you don't know which one.
He's both in and out of both.
Technically, I've just had a horrifying thought with how I've just explained how Lockie's core works with storing away Lockie's components.
Oh no!
Technically, Lockie also might have a bagman.
What the archivist was afraid of.
I didn't even think of that until just that second. I was like, by my own rules, it's a pocket dimension. That's technically the bagman could access it. Okay, I'll have a little.
There's just a little bagman hanging out next to Lockie.
Well, I love the idea of Lockie goes to emerge and you watch as this smeared bagman between two metal plates because they overlap and he's just squashed as he emerges. Hey! Christian, hello. Let me bring you in on your camera. Welcome.
Thank God.
Yeah.
How's your power? Back.
Apparently it was happening all across Queensland. There's small little pockets everywhere that have just been blitzing today.
We lost internet for 10 seconds here and then it was back again. So I think there's a bit of a storm that's just powered through. You haven't missed too much.
Oh my God, we have a map.
I just thought you'd like the world map. I realized that I hadn't given you the upgraded world map. This isn't the full world map. This is the zoomed out world map, but this will do for now.
I think I've seen this one before, but it's just I'm not used to seeing
all of the.
Yeah. I've been in the underdark for so long, I've forgotten what the world looks like.
So for context, I will bring the world map across for the stream to see soon. But for context, where Eris is located, is off the elemental states, just off Steolix, to the northern part of the Shattered Isles. It's technically this island here.
Perfect.
Just near the elemental states. Yeah. So east of Dromethion and south of. I've got Baldur's Gate on here. I probably should take that off. I think I put Baldur's Gate and Elturel on when I was considering us having the descent into Avernus, and I added them as little call-out cities. But I might have to remove those names because I'm trying to avoid stuff that Elon Musk could buy. is my thinking. I'm trying to have our own stuff as much as possible.
Good thinking.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Dave, are you missing facial hair, or am I just going crazy?
He's looking svelte, looking sexy, looking like a sleek seal fresh out of the water.
To lose weight, so a few grams later.
Okay.
A few grams. It was worth it. Harry, as you rush on over, quickly grab the obsidian foot, tuck it into your bag of holding, head on over to the trap chest. At this point, Bart, all of you are now standing before Lockie. He's having a bit of a chat, sort of talking through what's happened. You've given him a brief overview of the current situation, very brief. And I'm happy to redo the last part of the conversation where he goes, well, I was planning to hopefully take you back to the Storm's Redoubt, but things have gotten complicated. So I'm going to now take you back to Oxenford, to the Tempest Guild. But Lyra, you said you needed to wait another 5-10 minutes?
Yeah. There's a couple of things we need to sort of finish and wait up for, and I'm just waiting on a couple of ingredients. They shouldn't be too long, hopefully.
Well, that is no problem. I've told Sinmari I will be away for the next 24 hours. I thought it might be nice to catch up with some of my friends at the Tempest Guild. It has been some time since I saw them, so I'm happy to wait around as long as you need before we take off.
Look, you just said that things at the Storm's Redoubt was getting complicated. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, you've been underground for some time, but I believe your first port of call was with the Hill Giants, correct? With Gunglot and her crew.
Oh, yes. Yeah, lovely lot there. They were great. Good to get along well with.
That's good. They did get into somewhat of a clash recently with her brother. And a dragon turtle was involved.
Lyra! How's she doing?
Well, she crushed a city, so it's not been so great.
I'm sorry, she what?
Yeah,
Crushed a city?
Not a full city. I may be exaggerating slightly. Part of my new upgrades have been improving my personality matrix. How's it doing?
It's good. Yes.
Great.
Excellent.
Uh,
Okay. Are they good? Gunlot and everyone?
The hill giants are in a state of somewhat close to civil war, I would say. It seems like
you did mention that might happen.
Yeah,
I did say that.
The battle lines have been somewhat drawn, and with the storm giants, Sidmari particularly, she's doing her best to try and calm the situation down. But there has been some problem to the north as well. The frost giants have declared themselves no longer part of the Althing, so that's not great.
Oh. I shoot a glance at Threign because he's there, and I'm like, that's not good.
Oh, if the frost giants say that they are not part of Althing, they must have good reason. Maybe they have their own better version of Althing. Maybe this is better thing.
Hijacking for one moment, the old thing, that's the treaty, correct?
Yep.
The council, essentially, that allows for giants to work as a unit. No, if frost giants say they're not part of Althing, that is because they have found better thing.
That is a problem, though, Threign. If the frost giants are working on their own agenda, then that means that the giants are ununified now.
Fractured, yes. We did suspect such a thing was going to happen with the death of King Leon, but Sinmare hoped that she would be able to keep things somewhat together. There have been complications with that. The Cloud Giants, we believe, are actively working against the Althing. We think they're the ones behind the Frost Giants splitting. I think we might be seeing a play for power from the Cloud Giants.
Oh, it's always a play for power. I just roll my eyes. It's always about the power, isn't it?
People do seem to like power. I certainly thrive on it. As he points at his core.
Not that power. Power to rule.
Lockie, Bartholomew.
We've introduced. It's okay. But it's nice to meet you again.
I've been through a lot. Sorry, there's a lot running through my mind.
You were looking off into the middle distance for a fair portion there. I believe Lyra once referred to this as a NAM flashback. You did on the ship into when you first met Yervith.
you also know about the war in Namrostia?
I believe that was some time ago.
Okay. Well,
Nam Costa.
Anyway,
it was not good.
Do you know if any of the giant families are not causing some sort of chaos?
The fire giants have been quiet for some time. Then the stone giants, we assumed the things were under control because you lot were down here. The fire giants have been somewhat quiet. I'm hoping quiet means good.
Well, with the stone giants, that wasn't the case. They were enslaving people.
Well, then in that case, then I probably should upgrade the fire giants to very worrying behavior.
Oh, but it's okay. The stone giants are under control because we dealt with the despot that was controlling them. That's another point that we should talk about.
Elakir, the giant who reached out, gave me some information, but I was going to clarify with you when we got back to the surface. He looks around, lowers his voice like half a decibel. Lockie's never been one for keeping secrets. Sometimes I've been told there are places where it is good to discuss things out loud and places where it is not. I think if Mira were here, she would tell me this is not.
Yeah.
Another just short query.
I love queries.
The hill giants are in some sort of a civil war. The stone giants are dealt with. Frost giants are dealing with some sort of a parting of the old thing. The cloud giants are messing with the old thing. The fire giants are
we don't have evidence that the cloud giant... this is a suspicion Sinmare has that the cloud giants are behind it, because the cloud giants are normally the ones causing the most trouble. And they've been, to put it in her words, too fucking perfect recently. Since the death of King Leon, we were expecting the most trouble from them, but they've been very, very well behaved, very helpful, suspiciously helpful.
And do we have any word on the storm giants?
The storm giants follow Sinmare as the daughter of King Leon. They follow her rule exactly, as far as I'm aware for now. The storm giants seem to be.
Takeover has been fine.
Her father was very clear with instructions, and with her mother indisposed at the time being, Sinmare has done a very good job proving herself to the storm giants. she is known to them as well. I mean, she was one of the ones who helped to create and harness the power of the heartstones.
Hey, Lockie, have you ever heard of someone called the Archivist?
The Archivist? That is an interesting name. I will search my databanks. I'm going to make a history check for Lockie. Where's his character sheet? Let's fucking go.
Oh, yeah.
Why not?
Even maybe if we ask Sinmari about it, because I think she would probably know if she made the heartstones. And...
I'm sure she would.
16. Lockie does know. You watch as Lockie nods and goes, Archivist? The Archivist? Yes. How do you know of the Archivist? That was
we met him.
You
He's
can't
in
have
here.
that. No, that program was wiped.
And how do we know the name?
I don't think it's wiped.
Yeah.
We definitely met him.
More apparently fragmented. The program
Oh.
wasn't wiped, it was split.
The Archivist is a mind, not too dissimilar from my own, but without a body, without a form, without a core, so to speak. There is a core somewhere, but that was shut down even before the giants vanished from Nostea. They should not still be active or online.
Hey guys, didn't the archivist not want Loki to know about him?
What?
Yeah, that's
It's a little bit late for that one, Harry.
I'll turn to Niles Hour and whisper, you've spoken about him so many times. Lockie is someone we can trust, right?
Yes. He's a legend, a hero of the Tempest Guild.
Okay, well, if
He's
we're
also had his
on-
hearing upgraded recently. No, he doesn't say that. I couldn't resist. Sorry. I couldn't resist.
If you know, okay, well, we've already stuck one finger in the jam. Do you also know?
Don't stick more fingers
it-
in the jam. That's a terrible saying. Don't ruin more jam. Just scoop out the bit of jam you stuck your finger in, eat that, and leave the rest of it. Don't shove your whole fucking hand in. What is this?
What was the name of the other one? Animus? Well, what was it referring to?
yes.
Itself?
That
Animus.
other construct.
No, no construct mind I'm aware of called Animus. No, that is. There was only ever a few made.
Are there any other construct sort of similar to Archivist, or just sort of beings without bodies that were like related to heartstones?
There should only be 3 that are still active. The mind that governs the Storm's Redoubt allows it to travel and checks ahead. But it has no name. It's known by the Storm's Redoubt. It is the castle and the mind in one. I believe Sinmari has 1 or 2 others, but nothing should be out and about. It should all be contained within the Storm's Redoubt.
Animus is unknown.
Huh.
We may know of one more. I'm not sure if we're discussing that, and I'll sort of eye Harry to get Harry's approval.
Oh yeah.
We can always discuss this back in Oxenford. If this is something of a sensitive matter, you are
Maybe the
worried there
last
might
one
be
is, yes.
unfriendly ears, we can always wait till we're back in Oxenford.
Yeah. I think that'd be best. We can discuss this hammer when we're back in Oxford too.
Hammer?
Oh yes. Yes.
Not
I
just
think
people that can have the stones, apparently.
it would
Oh.
be best to talk about the hammer in Oxenford, and then.
Even though it would be good to talk about it, we've already seen creatures from certain realms, my steed as one, being watched by entities from that realm. We don't want Vice watching, peering into the Tempest Guild. Should we get Lockie to quickly look over, see if there's any way of him dispelling? I know it's very unlikely if it's been tampered with so heavily, but I don't want to bring a saboteuring device inside their headquarters.
The Tempest Guild should be fairly safe. We have an artificer who works there, Professor Griswold. He knows far more about magical artifacts than I ever will.
Those sound like very famous last words. I'd feel safer if you took a
I could
quick...
take a look, but it's not my specialty.
Griswold wasn't down here, was he? He didn't come down to the
I don't think so.
society, did he?
Not that you guys are aware of.
Hmm.
Harry,
You know he has a relationship with the Society of Brilliance, but I don't think you know any more than that.
would you mind attempting to reach and get past the bagman for half a moment?
Oh, yeah, sure thing. Harry just pulls out the hammer.
Well, you go to pull out the hammer. I don't want to be that guy. Could you please roll me a D100?
I can.
Thank you.
With my roll 20, there it is. D100.
Can you roll more than a 10, please?
Yeah, 58.
Harry, you reach in, pull out the hammer straight away. As you do so, Harry, as you pull out the hammer, you hear in your mind as Figment speaks to you.
Harry, what are you planning to do with the hammer? I just need to make sure that we are choosing the right pathway.
I thought we discussed what felt like a week ago. We discussed showing the hammer and working with Lockie to see if we can, as a group, break the demonic grasp on it. However,
you haven't warned him there is a demonic grasp on the hammer. You probably need to warn him before he takes it.
Yeah, I was about to do that. That's all right.
Sorry, Harry. It just seems like you were going to do something rashly again. I have observed a pattern of behavior, Harry, where you seem to do things. Just wanted to check that.
Psychoanalyzed.
I don't know what you're talking about. You'll need to give me at least 10 examples.
Would you like them alphabetically or chronologically?
You give them to me chronologically later, and then we can cross-reference them alphabetically just to make sure.
That sounds like fun, Harry.
Yeah, this is bonding. I was going to tell him about the demonic spirit. And do you want Loki to know about you while we're talking? Like, is this? Are you a secret?
I don't know, Harry. He doesn't seem to know about me. I was worried that I was similar to Archivist. I thought maybe I was a mind that had escaped, but maybe we could be careful. Maybe mention my name in passing in a different context and see if he reacts before we get to the Tempest Guild. If he doesn't, maybe I am something different. Maybe I am something new.
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds like a plan. So I was going to tell him that there's a demonic grasp on it. It's giant technology. And that the recommendation would be, as a group, involving myself as well, and you, we would have a proper look at it back at the Tempest Guild. It's just Bart here wants me to show the hammer to Loki before we go.
I see no problem with that plan, Harry.
Harry doesn't tell. No.
Evil Lockie, infernal
You son of a
Paladin.
bitch, Harry. I told you this would happen. Fuck you!
Well, I was thinking about when I pulled it out and then I got distracted by something.
Oh, well, it's funny that you mentioned that, Christian, because Lockie does actually have a fail-safe combat mode, which is pretty hectic.
So we did have Lockie go down to 0 hit points in Tyranny of Dragons, and when that happened, he went into a berserker auto kill sentry mode.
Iron Giant.
Iron Giant.
The golem stat when it goes into berserker.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know, and Lockie and Michael didn't know either until it was triggered, and I was like, Michael, I'm going to send you this. This is your new stat block. He just went, okay. Great fun.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, I'll just.
Yeah, Loki, the hammer here is giant technology, but what was his name? The demonic guy?
Vice.
Nice.
Yeah, Vice. He had a hand in corrupting the technology here, so
A Cambion.
Yes,
The
a
Cambion.
devil or a Cambion, perhaps.
Ah, a Cambion.
Yeah.
I have not
Not
had
much
tumbles
more.
with a Cambion before.
Much more powerful, however. Vice felt like a prince of one of the layers, even though he was just a Cambion.
Well, since
Yes,
the
there's
Giants
no
have
chance that this
returned.
magic-
Oh, sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, there's no chance that this magic could, I don't know, negatively interact with you or your core or any of the other bits and bobs of magic that you've got on you.
I will be very careful.
I should also,
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I should also add, he seemed to be affiliated, well, at least outwardly, I don't know if he actually is, but seemed to be affiliated with Mephistopheles.
Oh, interesting.
There's also a stone in the hammer.
Yes, I was going to mention the hammer is not a full giant design. It looks like it has been somewhat adapted and changed, but this heartstone looks very interesting. My concern, devils and demons, since the giants have returned, we can expect there to be more incursions from other planes. The pathways that were once closed are open once again. Lyra, Your little
Yeah.
foray into the Feywilds. You haven't had any problems, have you? And Shana was worried and did ask me to check on you. She said something about Varys talking to her as well.
I haven't seen Varys down here, but I mean, other than Dewey and the note that was on Kong-Chi.
What's a Dewey or a Kong-Chi?
Kong-Chi is a mount.
This is very appropriate as Cora tries to climb on you.
Kong-Chi comes up and starts like licking you because you called out his name.
I like that.
That's Kong-Chi, and Dewey is a Eladrin from the Fae. Yeah, a little bitch. But,
I was not aware female dogs could be found down in the Underdark. A cute name, Dewey.
Yeah.
Well, here you go.
Yeah, no. Look, I mean, I tried to do a summon Fae, you know, a little temporary spell that, you know, where you gotta help her for an hour and instead...
Sorry, you tried to summon Fae, and, I mean... I'm just calculating the chances...
It's not supposed to work like that.
I'm just calculating the chances of this going wrong, and the numbers keep coming up with what the fuck are you thinking, Lyra? It's weird. The calculations keep coming back. You know that your magic is tied to the Feywilds, and it's a bit skewy. The giants are back now.
I would be strong enough to summon one across the plains, considering they haven't been able to get here for how long?
Imagine travel between the plains, like a pathway that a river can take. The riverbed's been dried up, dammed, and all the water's being trapped. Those pathways are open now. The energy is flowing rapidly through them. There might be effects you were not expecting with some of these planar spells.
So I probably shouldn't use that spell again.
It's up to you. Personally, I would avoid it if you are concerned about there being issues with your contact with the Feywild.
I mean, I'm sure, Lyra, I don't want to speak out of turn. This is your story to tell, but it does appear that Titania is at least wanting something of Lyra's. We don't quite know what that is yet.
What is it with you, Lyra,
apparently.
and having some ongoing feud with an all-powerful entity from some other dimension? This is the second time.
Second? What do you mean second? What was the first?
I think your situation with Varys and Shana speaks for itself, Lyra.
That's not my situation. That was Shana's situation.
Weren't you also involved, from what I heard about, with Tiamat?
Yes, I would also second this. Thank you, Bartholomew.
No.
Well, to be fair,
fine.
Tiamat was more Mira's dragon on her shoulder.
That is true. I mean, what? I heard that Mira was meant to be the queen of the second coming or something.
Tiamat's
like
avatar, yes, on Nostea. Destiny she rejected, yes.
Oh.
She took it well.
Yes, I think she handled that quite well. There were times where I did think she would give in to the darkness and bring in 1,000 years of tyranny and destruction across the lands, but she did a good job resisting it, I think, on the whole.
Yes. There is actually a lot to talk about, actually. So we have the Fae Wild connection with Lyra, Queen Titania, and the Fae wanting something of Lyra's that she brought back with her. I don't know.
We don't know what that is. There's also the whole swampy thing.
You didn't bring anything back with you. I was there when you were brought back with the flesh sculptor. You were just a sort of floaty, ghosty, souly thing.
You mean the bodybuilder? The bodybuilder, yes?
Yeah.
The flesh sculptor, yes.
The bodybuilder.
The guy that builds bodies.
Yes.
Yes, I believe it referred to itself as a flesh sculptor.
Bartholomew was twitching a little bit.
That isn't what I heard. But you were there, so I can't. No.
Yes, it was a rather unique entity.
A lot of discussions.
Perhaps best at the Tempest Guild.
I was going to say, actually, just as one final conversation piece, but something that you have, I guess, have instigated. What is the rush?
Oh, I thought you were in a rush. I was told to get here immediately.
It's true, I want to get a bed.
I am pretty tired.
I got my ingredients.
I will say, at this point, Lyra, you feel this sudden tug on your hand, and as you spin, you watch as this glowing, luminescent pseudo-dragon flies down, the feathers sort of ruffling as it lands. It is carrying what looks like a large darkened leather, almost like an apothecary's bag between its talons. And as it drops it off, you watch as it leans down, nudges at the tattoo on your hand, and then melts in. The glow sort of fading away as the tattoo burns away.
Oh.
Thank you, little dragon. And
What the hell was that?
oh yeah, you were up talking to the deep gnomes. We'll explain back at the guild, but the long story short is
We'll explain later.
Magical tattoos can do some cool things, and
but you
these
do
are
remember
ingredients to get cool magical tattoos.
while you were
Talk to the
talking to
priestess.
Gook and Flick, they were chatting to the priestesses with the tattoos.
And the fairy dragon, though, where did that come from?
It's a familiar of the priestesses.
Oh, okay.
No, nothing to worry about. It's all good.
We quickly
Harry,
we quickly jumped back a little bit so that they could do some stuff while you were off running about with the deep gnomes and things, and gave them opportunity for Lyra to get some ingredients for the tattoos as well.
Harry, were you going to open that chest up there?
Well, I still haven't given Loki a look at the hammer yet. Sidetracked. So we have it from a friend saying that trying to connect with the stone right now might be dangerous because of the demonic influence. But yeah, it shouldn't be a problem to hold it, and it shouldn't be able to force a connection with us or in any way. So
I'm just gonna study Harry and Lockie's like relationship right now, because obviously like half of Harry's body is like robotic. I'm just like wondering if like Lockie's like cloth.
No question. 100% of Lockie's body is robotic. He's not. He's got
no,
any
I know,
questions.
but, like,
it's weirder
I
for
was
him that you're all
wondering if he
fleshlings.
Yeah, that's true.
Nah, he's not worried about that at all. To be fair, I think during the Tyranny of Dragons campaign, Lockie interacted with, I'm trying to remember who it was. One of the NPCs had an artificial leg, a Warforged style artificial leg. So Lockie's, I think it's not the first time Lockie's seen a prosthetic, an artificer made prosthetics. He's not too worried about it. He hasn't yet noted that it's the heartstone in the very center of it. To be fair,
That's
a
more
lot of
what
shit
I was
going
getting
on.
at.
Yeah.
Not so much of the prosthetic nature, and more of the fact that it's stemming from the.
Lyra, can you read out your intrusive thought that you've just typed into chat? Because that's very funny about Figment's origin. You're muted, Ali.
You are muted, yeah.
So I was thinking, just with Figment's with Figment's name, like, what if it just turns out that Figment is literally a figment of Harry's imagination, stemming from the traumatic brain injury that he got way back when?
Do I still have a brain
There's
injury?
no one saying it's not true.
I get that healed. I can't remember. I think we got healed.
I think it's being healed.
Yeah, I think I picked up Lesser Resto.
You did.
You watch as Lockie leans forward, picks up the hammer, and examines it, looking. Yes, this is not a true giant design. This has been heavily modified, but it does look like this was forged partly by fire giant make, I would guess. And this handle section. Interesting. But this heartstone is, feels wrong. Something's very wrong with this.
Yes.
Is it what, sorry?
Is it the Stone Giant Kings was because he was controlling the stone giants with his image, and so I was wondering, it probably had the most information recorded on it from its original user.
I could try and connect, but you did just warn me that would be a bad idea.
Let's do it somewhere safe together.
At the guild where
my sense is that this is heavily influenced. I did not realize devils would have such sway over giant technology. It's quite concerning that they had this. That they have turned this into something dark, something.
No, I was really
corrupted.
paranoid. Can I do like a perception check? I want to see if we're being watched.
Yeah, for
By
sure.
like not giants, but like by anyone else.
I'd like to do the same thing. Bart's not good at it, but Bart actually teamwork. Bart is going to go to the person who is the most magical of us. I'm going to guess that's one of the three casters. Who's got a good arcana? Is out of.
I don't think anyone.
No.
I'll check Ember. I don't think Ember does. None of you have.
Gonna roll
It's better than mine, but
I'll check Ember. I think his int is like 11 or 12 from memory. I'll pull it open.
Ares defended. Ares is technically a caster as well.
That's true. What's
Harry's
Harry's
a
int?
7. a 17 for the perception roll. If you want.
Oh, very nice. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, 12 for Ember, so +1.
Okay, look, that's the same as Bart. Bart's just going to do it himself. Bart would, the same as Niles sort of goes on the defensive looking around, Bart is going to try to see if my soul paladin-esque powers can sense any foul magic. Same as what was, I guess, near the chest, the trap underneath it. I just want to make sure that there's no sort of like magical perceptions looking around us.
Very, very fair. What was yours again, Niles? Sorry, hasn't come through. I can't sit on Roll20.
That's 17. No, I don't have Roll20 up on this.
Oh, fair. That's all good. 17.
Just rolling them through D&D. Yeah,
Niles.
D&D build.
As you glance about...
10 for the magical.
10 for the Arcana check. As you glance about, Niles, your keen owlin eyes piercing through the darkness of this large open cavern, you can see there are many stone giants moving throughout the area. Just outside this glowing area surrounding the central dais, there are still a number of stone giants moving around this area. The enormous cracked obsidian sphere that you think is obsidian, the crystal, you can see that the giants are getting to work trying to repair it, singing gently to themselves as the stone singers begin to reforge it. With your perception check, Niles, the obsidian that was used to make that sphere, suspiciously similar to the obsidian that was used in Obsidian's Foot. In this moment, you think he probably carved it out of a chunk he took from this.
Wow.
And the hammer itself, the hammer that's been set with this massive stone of obsidian, again, you think they share a common origin. You think he might have got a lot of the obsidian from this massive stone sphere. Massive obsidian sphere. But around this area, even Elakir, as soon as Elakir delivered you back to Lockie, he has stepped back. The giants are giving you a lot of space around Lockie to discuss things. The stone giants, there's suspicion and unease around Lockie. And you do remember Elakir saying that they didn't trust minds that dreamt they were alive, minds from the dreaming that weren't giant, that were created.
Mm-hmm.
You think that probably extends to Lockie as well. They're not really... The stone giants don't really trust the technology of the giant forged. So
yeah,
they're not so sure. Yeah, they're not so sure about Lockie. They're giving you a bit of a wide berth. You actually have a bit of a space. But with your Arcana check, you distinctly remember you currently have a soul coin on your body. How much that soul coin allows for Vice to check in, you have no idea how his magic works. But you know that this soul coin can do things that other soul coins can't. You watched it summon a ritual circle that allowed Vice to appear before Obsidian Foot. I mean, you know he can do some fucked up shit to magic items. It's not impossible he's also turned this into a sending stone.
Yeah. Look, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to call Kongchi over. We're about to be going to Tempest, so I'm assuming that we should be on the safer side there. I'm going to pop the... At one moment while the talking's happening, everyone's looking at the hammer. Just look for a quiet moment. Pop the coin in one of the pouches, and then dismiss Kongchi. Send him back to the Fey Realm.
As you do that, Bart, as Kongchi vanishes, you watch as a soul coin hovers in empty space for a moment and lands on the ground, tinkling to a stop.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to
You put it in the bag.
slowly... down and pick it up.
I love that you're being so subtly like put it in. You're like, okay, great, and dismiss. And you watch the soul coin just appears and goes ding, 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 ding. Someone has dropped a gold coin. Lockie's safe in the corner. No.
Sorry, just preparing my things. I'll pop it back in my coin purse.
While we're chatting about recent events, Lockie, have you heard any news or information coming out of the Eris theocracy by any chance?
The Eris theocracy? I must be honest, most of my attention has been fairly set upon the giants. Is there something I should be looking out for with the Eris theocracy?
I kind of give Bart a bit of a glance, and I look back at Lockie and go, yeah, possibly, yes.
Maybe similar to the cloud giants.
We'll talk about it when we're on the surface.
Well, is there anything else you need to gather? It looks like, Lyra, you've had your visit from your cute little pet.
Actually, I don't know if there's anything we need to connect, but a message you could send before we leave, even though we're not talking about the theocracy, I feel like it is pertinent. You spoke with the stone giants here. You have that same connection with Sinmari?
I am networked into most of the giants who have connections to their heartstones, yes.
Okay, can you send a message to Sinmare? I guess from the Tempest Guild, hoping there's some sway behind that. If the rest of you are comfortable to put the name behind this message, to stop using the Silverwind communications, if they are.
Oh, well, that would be the Ara Cochrane Messenger Guild, right?
The Messenger Guild.
The Aarakocra Messenger Guild. Is this a message to have the giants stop using it, or everyone stop using it? Because I'll let you know right now.
As her sway has. It would just be, I'm guessing, the Storm Giants.
I would perhaps be saving this message for Mira more so than Mare. I don't think Mare worries about
Storm Giants don't have too much to do with the small folk, as they call them, but Mira might be able to. Well, I mean, my understanding of the Aarakocra Messenger Guild is that they are a very important part of communication. Everything passes through their feathers and talons.
It may be again a conversation we could have when we return to the Tempest Guilds.
Actually, now that I think about it, the Storm Giants probably just use the heartstones, don't they?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
It's more so just things are a little bit. Yes. Things are a little bit delicate in the aristocracy. So some new information has come to light.
Well, we best get back to the Tempest Guild then. If there's nothing further you need to collect, I can take you back now.
Harry,
Treasure chest.
Harry's got the chest, yeah.
This?
Harry, as you wander on over and look at the chest again, the one that has evaded your ability to unlock for a little bit of time now. As you gaze down at the chest, your old nemesis. What would you like to do?
No. Harry would like to, because we know that it was linked to the sigil under the rug. And when we deactivated the rug, it was still booby trapped. So Harry would like to, check if it's still booby trapped.
Could you please make me an investigation or an arcana check, Harry, as you investigate the chest?
I have advantage on investigation because I have some goggles.
You've got your goggles of minute seeing.
Indeed.
Because my arcana
not minute seeing. I have read that
minute.
Couple of times. I've read it as minute seeing. I've been like, I mean, seeing things like 1 frame per minute's not great. That's kind of shit. If it was like picosecond goggles of picosecond viewing, that'd be cool. Like you slow down time as you look through the goggles. That is a 13. Cool. That is a 13 and a 13. We will take the 13. Harry,
my lucky number.
Your lucky number 13. Harry, as you look at the chest, it looks the same as it did before. Completely innocuous and unprotected by magic. Which probably means that it's still protected by magic. The good news is, though, you do have a new set of eyes here who hasn't had a chance to look at the chest yet.
Is that Figment or Loki?
Technically both. You got 2 new sets of eyes who could take a look at it. But I mean, Lyra, I think what has Lyra shared about Lockie with you guys? Not a huge amount.
No. Probably only just that he was part of her previous adventuring party, and that he's giant forged.
I would probably sort of crouch down next to Harry. Any luck so far?
It looks unchanged from before when I kicked it and it let go of all that frost magic. Maybe we should back away and throw a rock at it.
No.
Hey, Lockie.
Hello.
This chest, is it still watered?
This would be the last thing we need to interact with before we're ready to go, I think.
Natural fucking 20. Yes, it is powerfully warded. The ward seems to be placed on the inside of the chest lid there. Would you like me to disable it?
That would be...
Yes. How would you do that?
I will
if
summon...
you can without exploding the contents.
I don't think this should explode the contents. What I'm going to do is dispel all the magic around it.
Oh, yes. I think that would work well.
A high-level dispel magic should do me well here.
Okay, that explains it. Yeah, I need a high-level magic. Yeah, one day. Harry,
you watch his...
We'll get there.
Do you think you could learn that, Harry, one day? Could be very useful.
Oh, yeah? I think there's nothing I couldn't do if I set my mind to it.
And with that, you watch his... as Lockie begins to summon these like runic symbols around him as he traces them in the air and then presses them down onto the chest. You watch this for a moment. This outline of energy appears around the chest, the runes attaching to this energy. There's these glowing runes that he summons out of his hands, attaching to the energy and then pulling the energy into them as the runes fade away into nothingness. You watch as Lockie very gently reaches out and taps the chest. We're not exploded. I think it worked.
Harry kicks it.
You kick the chest? Yeah, Harry, kick it. The dull thump comes from within. Harry, could you please... No, I'm kidding. Forgive me. I could not resist. It was too much of a chance to get back at you. Okay. Harry, as you open up the chest, inside, there are many treasures. A small pouch containing a number of gemstones, a mixed bag of gemstones, which you actually estimate to be worth probably about 100 gold pieces each. I'll type this in chat for you as well. There are 8 of these gemstones, each worth about 100 gold pieces. Each worth 100 GP. I'll type this out for you as well. 8 gemstones, each worth 100 GP.
What sort of gemstones are we talking about?
A mixture of rubies, sapphires, amethyst, some aquamarine, but beautifully cut. Yeah, there'd be an emerald in there too, for sure. Yeah.
This is technically the hoard of a Durga
despot
lord. Yeah. So there should be some good stuff.
Oh yeah,
this was worth all the pain we went through.
Oh, I do distinctly remember writing an ingredients list for a braces of defense, which needs.
Yeah.
I've got that here too, actually. Let me quickly pull that
emeralds and rubies or something?
Yeah, there is an emerald.
So it was a emerald and a ruby/sapphire.
Yeah, emerald plus ruby or sapphire to make. Yeah, I will say right now, Lyra, there is absolutely an emerald and absolutely a suitable sapphire or suitable ruby in this that you can take away for sure. Definitely.
Very cool.
There is also a bag of a bag of gold. It looks to be worth about 500, maybe 600 gold pieces in this bag of various coins as you go through it. Mostly of dwarven make. Yeah, so I'll put in chat. It adds up to about 550 gold pieces. So 550 GP gold bag.
Who's keeping track of party?
It's in Roll20, so whoever wants to.
It's in Roll20, okay.
I'm just adding it to my notes at the moment.
In addition, there is also a belt. Interlocking plates of this silvery metal affixed to this leather work. Harry, as you look at this belt, could you make me an investigation check? I just want to see what you figure out about it.
Definitely not perception. No, it sounds more like investigation.
More investigation. You're trying to sort of figure out what this is.
17.
Harry,
did you roll that with your advantage? Just check.
Oh, yes,
yes, true. Yeah.
17.
20.
I mean,
natural 20. Harry, you get a lot more than this. This belt, the metal that is put in this belt, Harry, this is mithril. This belt alone, to the right buyer, 750 gold pieces, you reckon. And you're a merchant. You're using your merchant eyes here. This is how you're kind of able to immediately know what things are worth. I'll chuck this in chat as well. Mithril belt worth about 750
is it
gold
magic?
pieces. It's not magical. It's just very, very finely
ornamental.
made.
Perfect.
Ornamental. Could you also please roll me, as we also get a couple of random items too. So they're the set ones that are definitely in there. Now we get some random items as well, so I'm curious to see what you get. Could you please roll me a D12 followed by a D100, please, Harry?
Does someone else want to roll them?
Yeah.
Could we all? Yeah, that'd be cool.
Could you all roll one? I tell you what you can do.
Oh, no.
Could you roll a D6?
If we're doing multiple rolls.
Could you roll a D6 for me, Bart? Niles, could you roll a D6 for me? Lyra, could you roll a D10 for me? Harry, could you roll a D10 for me?
Cool.
Yeah.
There's no chance for a 1 the 2 D6s.
That's okay. The 1's the shit one. I'm happy for you not to get it. The 1 is the worst.
Oh, I got a 4.
Poor Lyra.
Ooh, okay. So 10 for Lyra, and we've got a 4 for Harry on the D10. Niles, what was your D10?
My D6.
D6.
5.
5 plus Christian's 4. Okay, and the 10 plus a 4. Ooh, okay. Okay. This could be interesting. Harry, as you reach in and have a bit of a shuffle around inside the bag, there is a very odd item at the very bottom. It looks like a iron sphere made up of various bands all interlocking, all overlapping over one another. This sort of weird iron sphere. I'll put a picture of it in the VTT for you. As you have a look at this iron banded sphere, you can see that it is clearly metallic. With your natural 20 on your investigation check, Harry, you actually recognize what this item is. You've seen a similar listing for an item not too long ago at a merchant's stock take. These are known as the iron bands of Bilaro. When you have this item, it is a small sphere about 3 inches in diameter, weighs about a pound. You can take an action to throw the sphere at a huge or smaller creature within 60 feet. It then opens up into a tangle of metal bands and wraps around the creature, restraining it on a hit. So you make an attack, ranged attack using your dex modifier plus your proficiency bonus. It's like a ranged attack basically, and it will lock on and trap the creature.
So we have like a magical bowler.
Yeah, essentially.
Is it reusable?
Yeah. It's just
so you have to release the old creature and then
it's a once per day use, and only you can release it with a bonus action. Otherwise, a creature has to make a DC 20 strength check, an athletics check of 20 to get out.
What's Ember's dexterity? Is he dexterous?
Ember's not super dexterous. He's a +2.
I feel like this
because it sounds like a Pokeball.
Oh, it does. It does sound like a Pokeball.
Yes.
Is it red and white?
We can paint it. It can be painted.
It looks like one of those old school original Pokeballs from back before they had the red and white ones.
Oh yeah, when they were making it out of like acorns.
Acorns, yeah.
Apricorns, that's right. I'll put it in chat.
It does have the non-violent tone that Niles is going for, and is dexterity based. Niles doesn't hit anyone anymore.
I do have quite a high dexterity, so that would be
If I throw this, will it automatically activate?
Here, Niles.
You have to make
activating it.
It's an intentional thing. You have to throw it and intend for it to open. It magically links, so it doesn't require attunement. This is a non-attuned magic item, but it is mental command to activate. You have to throw it and mentally command it to activate as you release it.
Harry will spinball it.
That is
to Niles to catch without activating it.
It's very a Niles thing.
He'll explain what it does to Niles as well. So,
my goodness.
The second item you find inside the chest.
Another one.
This is Obsidian Foot's personal chest that he had trapped with a very high level spell.
Think about the stuff that we fought, the amount of things, not even across the entire story of the Underdark, but if this was like the collection of a stronghold.
Yeah.
I expected more.
But also what it was watered with, and then what was hanging on the wall behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Now, what was let me just quickly pull up the other rolls. So the other rolls were, what was yours? Sorry, Matt? Yours was 6, wasn't it? No, 5 on a D6.
5, yeah.
5 on a D6. And Harry, yours was a 4, Lyra 10. Okay. Okay. This is very appropriate. Harry, you pull out a small ring, golden make, with these purple amethyst fragments set into the top of it, almost resembling that of a brain.
Yeah, why does it look like a brain? I'm scared.
Harry, again, with your natural 20, you recognize this. You've seen this again on auction in a recent catalog. This is an uncommon magic item, but so you can find it and buy it from artificers. This is a ring of mind shielding. While wearing this ring, you are immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts, determine whether you are lying, know your alignment, or know your creature type. Creatures can telepathically communicate with you only if you allow it.
Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. So,
and you can also take an action.
Yeah,
and you can also take an action to make the ring invisible, imperceptible on your finger, so no one will even know if you're wearing it.
But it doesn't give you telepathy. It only blocks telepathy.
Yeah. There's one other thing it does. If you die while wearing the ring, your soul enters it unless it already houses a soul. You can remain in the ring or depart for the afterlife. As long as your soul is in the ring, you can telepathically communicate with any creature wearing it. A wearer cannot prevent this telepathic communication. Harry, I want to see if there's a soul in the ring.
Can we sense if there's a soul in the ring?
Can you roll me a D100? You have to put the ring on. Could you roll me a D100? That's
coincidentally sounds very similar to heartstones.
Yeah.
not too far off it. Inspired by the heartstones, I'd say.
That's a
97. Okay, I'll take a note of that. I'll take a note of that. Cool.
Yeah, hey guys. So yeah, this could be cool or bad. And maybe Obsidian Foot killed someone and trapped them in this ring.
I think it would be really handy in the Feywild if we end up having to go there for whatever reason. That definitely does seem very handy.
It would be handy, assuming that there's nothing in there already.
Do you think there's something in there?
All it can do is talk to you, right?
I mean, that's what it says on paper, but you know,
that's what it said in the catalog.
If we're going to the budding building flesh sculptor anyway, and we just so happen to come across some body parts, we could possibly ask the flesh sculptor to make a new body for whoever's stuck in the ring.
Yeah, well, maybe let's go back up to the surface and in a safe place. We put the ring on and
You say that not so nonchalantly, Lyra. Like find some body parts and build a body. Like I still can't quite get over that.
I have a foot.
Miles, how many people have we killed down here?
No, like I know that, but like, are we going to have a body count when we return to the surface on our way to the? Never mind.
Niles, she raises the dead.
No, I know. It's just, I haven't quite grasped that concept yet.
I mean, look, the body parts that form my body was literally a red dragon that the body took down on the way to the flesh sculpt.
The dead people aren't using it, so...
That was actually a question. Did we want to... No, never mind. We'll talk about that when we get back to the guild.
Did you need to visit the flesh sculptor? I know where he is, where it is.
Well,
yes.
We do. Yes.
Okay.
Is it on the way?
Not quite, but once we get back to the Night Hall, once we get back to Oxenfurt, the Air of Decency, I believe, should be docked back at Oxenfurt now if you needed to use the airship.
Oh, excellent. Well, that would be rather useful.
Extremely handy.
Azur and Leosin have returned from their journey.
Oh. See, we need to try and find a way to put our friends' wings back on. So, unless you know of a different way of attaching body parts,
and make it usable afterwards,
was all we could sort of come up with that.
If you are looking for new wings, Bartholomew. Oh no, you have your wings with you. Oh, well, if you have your old wings with you, I can't imagine the flesh sculpt would have too much trouble with that. He reconstituted Lyra's entire body from the flesh of a red dragon.
Does he deal with gold, or is he deal with other things?
Flesh, mostly.
Yeah. Last time we traded him. Yeah, last time we traded him the rest of the red dragon corpse as payment.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, so if we,
I doubt he takes gold.
No.
We haven't quite delved into the side effects of that. Yes.
None that I'm aware of.
Should we collect some dead bodies while we're down here, then?
Inside Lyra.
What am I rolling against?
Just to check as well, leaning and looking into the treasure chest, is that the last of its contents?
Doesn't seem to be anything else. Harry's natural 20. That's everything here. But I will add one more thing, Harry. The magic that Lockie has dispelled, it's temporarily dispelled. You can still see the glyph of warding carved into the underside of this chest. The chest itself,
we should take the chest.
Not a bad item. It seems to be pretty well warded.
I thought I asked this in the past and it doesn't fit in the bag of holding.
No, but you don't need it to, right?
Oh, okay.
If you're teleporting back to the Night Hall right now, you just bring it onto the teleportation circle with you. You watch as Threign leans down and picks it up for you. You want this chest, Harry? You can have this chest.
Yep. Harry sits on the chest on top of Threign while he's carrying it.
The other thing I'll add, with the glyph of warding disabled and reset, I think Lockie would share this. Lockie's if you're planning on taking the chest, if you place your hand upon the glyph of warding and speak a new command word, I believe you can reset the chest, reset the code to activate the chest when you want to disable the glyph.
That's convenient.
If you
what's
need
the
it.
command word?
Right now, it's nothing. You could set a new one. Place your hand on
it's
the.
like a password.
Yeah, it's like a password.
Oh, nice.
What's your password going to be, Harry?
Oh, well, I mean, it's our password. It's our chest.
Oh, well, I mean, you've had such a hard time with this chest. It seems only.
What was the?
The password has to be hard gold, right?
Out of gold 6969.
Didn't you give a command to that wand
funny.
of yours? What was the wand's command?
Bibbidi bobbidi doo.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
You could stick with that. One password for everything is always an easy way to remember.
The IT guys at work beg to differ.
Yeah.
Podcast listeners, I was just having a small stroke off to stage left. Don't mind me. Well, is it time to go? Were there any other things you needed to deal with?
Harry quickly looks through all the drawers and everything. Is the rest of his office here? Is the whole building landed, right? The whole room,
the room has
Yeah.
like shattered and dropped. You guys did a pretty thorough go over of that stuff. There's not much else here to find. You go
Does
through, you
the rug
find.
look like it's high quality? Like, does the rug look like it can sell for anything?
It's been pretty badly burned by the infernal flames that emerged from it when you spoke to Vice. As you summoned him in the circle.
That's fair.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Harry's
Harry's
Perfect.
Okay.
As you
Very good.
all stride forward onto the massive dais, you watch as Lockie closes his eyes and concentrates for a moment, and then begins to raise his hand, again tracing these signs in the air, these giant runes all around you. As he begins to shift and move, you see this almost like after image of Lockie glowing behind him, this pattern of runes that he leaves behind as he walks, until you are surrounded by this swirling vortex of text. A vortex, if you will, as the sorry, I haven't had my dad joke tonight. Now I've got it out of the way.
Yeah, nice one, good one.
As the vortex swirls around you, the light begins to glow brighter and brighter, and you watch as the stone giants avert their eyes from the sudden flash, and then in a moment, you feel yourselves warm, then cold, then warm again, moving rapidly. All around you is this white void of light spinning, rainbow-like flashes of color pushing around and pulsing in front of your eyes. But this sensation of rapid movement, like your stomach dropping out of your bodies. And then a moment later, you feel your feet connect with a hard surface. And as the light fades and dissipates, you find yourselves somewhere a little bit familiar, a little bit unfamiliar. For Lyra, this is very familiar territory. The room that you are standing in is stonework underneath. The wooden walls have been very, very beautifully made. Opulent manor house immediately is the vibe that comes to you as you look around. You can see tapestries hanging from the walls, large curtains pulled aside to reveal a bright sunny day outside. Judging by the sun, it looks like it's about mid-morning, but you have to squint as you stare through it. I've been keeping track of your time. You are so out of whack with daylight. Nighttime as you were traveling through the Underdark, you instantly lost track of time. It was very funny. Which is what happens when you end up in the dark, in the caves.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially in moments of stress, you kind of lose your normal circadian rhythm. And then
I was poisoned.
It's very true, Harry. You were poisoned. he's like, I was poisoned. I'm Ralph. As you look around, you can see over towards the side, Lyra, a little bit different than when you last were here. Professor Griswold's study, which is where the teleportation circle is based, has grown somewhat. You can see a fracture in the walls all around where someone has added an extension to the side of the house, clearly using magic to do so. You can see these like bizarre twists of geometry around where these sections have joined on. And as you look out the window, there's this stretching a little bit of the light as it moves through. It's a very unsettling experience seeing this area. Currently, the study is unoccupied. You can see that the benches and tables and desks are cluttered with various items, metals, crystals, spools of wire, strange alchemical devices. It is a clutter and a mess. And as you look up, you can see the tower rising high above you, series of clockwork rails connecting to these various shelves all around. And you can see sitting in the very middle, attached to all this clockwork, this massive mechanical arm and a little tiny desk chair attached to that mechanical arm. The arm coming down from the ceiling to allow someone to like turn these gears and move themselves up to any position in the tower. Doesn't seem to be occupied right now though. As you step off the circle, you watch as Lockie looks around and goes, well, let's see who's here. And begins walking down a set of stairs in front of you.
Lockie.
Hello.
Have there been any other visitors to the Tempest Guild since we've been away?
I wouldn't know. This is my first time coming back here since the Giants returned. Well, my second time coming back here.
I thought perhaps you would use this... Oh, never mind.
I came straight from the Storm's Redoubt to get to you in the Underdark.
I see. I thought maybe you had gone to the Tempest Guild first. That makes sense.
No.
I guess I'm going to just sort of try and steer everyone in the direction of Mira's office and hope that she's home.
As you head downstairs, because I mean, at this point, Mira's office is on an air of decency. As far as you're aware, Lyra, have you seen her? Because like the last time you were here was all you guys had a meeting in the lounge.
Yeah.
I feel like because Lyra was sort of there for about 6 months-ish beforehand. Like I'm sure Mira would have had a office
space. Like I think what we'll do is we'll say one of the bedrooms has been converted into an office for Mira. Actually, there would be a study. It's a manor hall that was owned by a noble family. Yeah. There's an office that Mira's set up in. It's perfect though as you head down the stairs back into the lounge and then up the set of staircases to get to the top of the landing. As you begin to head up towards Mira's office, you almost walk into a figure coming down the stairs. As you both arrive at the landing at the same time, someone rushing down as you rush up, you almost slam into each other. As you sort of go to fall, Lyra, you feel a hand reach out and grab onto you and pull you into a massive bear hug. As you gaze into this orange and yellow tunic, you hear a very familiar voice call out, Lyra! Oh, my friend, it's been too long! As you see Azure standing before you, wrapping you up in a really big hug. His bald head glistening in the lights of the morning sun as he pulls you into a massive bear hug and then holds you out at arm's length and goes, looking good. Is that a new fungus I see growing on your staff?
Probably, yeah. We just got back from the Underdark.
Underdark?
Wild under there. Have you been down there?
No, I've always wanted to go. What's down there? What did you find?
But here's deep gnomes, dark dwarves, lots of drow.
Man, that sounds like an adventure.
Giants?
Lots of giants.
Yes, stone giants. Oh, excellent.
For the newbie here, it's probably going to be happening with quite a few NPCs. Could I get a basic description, race, stuff like that?
Half elf by the looks of him. Very tall, very muscular, bald head, wearing orange robes layered over each other. I'll add his artwork to the spiraling artwork. This is the first time you guys have seen Azure in this campaign, I think. So I'll add him to the.
No, I've seen him.
You've seen Azure before?
It's in Spiral.
Okay, cool. I wasn't 100% sure, but yeah, this is definitely the first time Bart's seen it. But yeah, very, very tall, very muscular half elf. Dressed in orange monk robes, big smile, very enthusiastic. Looks to be probably in his about, I'd say like early 30s, judging by his look. Definitely looks to be some sort of monk, Bart, as you look at him. The robes that he wears isn't actually that dissimilar from the robes that the Eris Theocracy use for their monastic training. Looks like maybe a similar sort of setup. And as he looks over and clocks you, Bart, you watch as he kind of goes, I'm good with faces. I don't think I know yours, friend. Well met. I am Azure. As he holds out a hand to shake your hand.
Bart will go back to his attention. This entire time, Bart has been completely zoned out, staring off, following after everyone. And like a small tear sort of wets his feathers beside one of his eyes. That's, for him, this is the first time that he's been in the surface again for months since being sold off.
Oh yeah.
Bartholomew, it's lovely to meet you. You look like you've gone through some form of enlightenment training. It's not few people that have put their mind and body through training like this. And I'll reach a hand towards his.
Oh, well, I like to try my best. I wouldn't say I've been through enlightenment training, but I always try and see the light and see the good. I just remembered he doesn't have a bald head. I don't know why I thought he did. I'm having like a complete mental breakdown. He's got a full head of hair. Oh, am I thinking of Leosin? I think I'm getting him mixed up with his brother.
Yeah. You were thinking of Leosin.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which you don't have the artwork? Do you have
I do have the artwork for Leosin. Would you like me to pull up the artwork of Leosin? Yeah, I did Leosin as well. That's so funny. I've completely, like, because they look so similar. I've completely mixed it up with his brother. I'll add that to the art overlay too, because Leosin, should be here too. Let me grab him.
I think I'd also sort of push Harry forward and go, up a new member that we picked up along the road.
No, Leosin isn't bald either. Leosin's got a fucking top knot. I don't understand. Why do I think he's bald? Why do I think he's bald? That's weird.
Did you describe him in the Tiamat campaign? Like...
Maybe I did one time by accident. He's definitely not.
I swear he didn't have hair.
That's so funny.
Maybe in the week after the Tiamat campaign, he's aged.
That's not funny though, that you've just made him bald.
It's so weird. That's right. I'll add him to the Return of the Giants thing now. There we go. He'll cycle through too now. That's so funny. There you go. Perfect timing. Azua's artwork is now up on the overlay. There you go.
Hey.
And it's gone. And it's gone. Well, I wouldn't say I'm enlightened, but I've always tried to find the right pathway and let the beauty of the sun guide me where I need to go. You look a bit pleased or a bit sad, a bit of both, to be your.
It's been a long time since I've smelt fresh air and been in the sun's embrace as well.
Well, I must say, our gardens are looking particularly nice. Head outside, have some fresh air. We'll catch up in a moment. Go, doors just that way. The gardens are looking really nice. We have a friendly Firbolg, Nucius, who's been tending to the grounds here. Looks quite lovely.
I'll look towards the rest of everyone. Were we in a rush to see Mira?
Oh, she's out right now. If you're in a rush to see her, you might need to wait till she gets back.
Oh, well, if that's the case, perhaps we just wait until she returns.
Yeah, she should be back in the next hour, 2 hours. If you had some business in the city, now's the time to do it.
We do have some things to report, but if she's not going to be too long, I suppose we can spare a couple hours.
If it's time sensitive, Mira will want to know about it straight away, but you tell me. I'm more than happy to take a report if it's time sensitive. Otherwise, if we've got a moment.
I would love to feel fresh air across my feathers, but I think it is time sensitive. The member that, from the sounds of it, from Lyra, you haven't been introduced yet. Sorry, I'm still new to the guild here. Our Harrengon friend has some. We've all got information that is very dire.
Well met! As he sees you, Harry picks you up and pulls you into a big bear hug.
Harry embraces him.
Ah, yes. Finally, someone who can hug back properly. Good. And I tell you what, that metal arm of yours packs quite a punch. I can feel that hug in my spine.
Yeah, I can feel it in my rib cage as well.
Oh, sorry. I am told sometimes I'm a bit too enthusiastic with this.
That does remind me, so I don't think we've actually sparred. Would be good to train out in the yard.
Yes, well, depends how time sensitive things are with the news, but...
I mean, after we do our report, of course, we'll have some downtime. I'm sure we can do a little bit of training.
Oh, that sounds good.
I think Threign here will be pretty keen as well.
Making me play fucking characters talking to each other. You watch as Threign sort of nods. Damn you being away, Jared. You watch as Threign nods and goes, yes, you do not look like you would be that hard to defeat in single combat. I think I could wrestle you pretty easily. As he looks over at Azul, you watch as Azul smiles and goes, you can certainly try.
Well, with that all said and done, then, I suppose we should give you our report, then.
Yes, you better take me through everything that's happened. I just want to say, obviously, massive welcome. Massive welcome to the raiders coming across. Lovely to see you guys again, Eldritch Scribe. I do have to say, though, do I need to respond with Cthulhu Fatagan with the messages you're posting? I feel like I'm getting... How have you done this?
Why is all of my furniture floating in my house? What's going on?
how have you made this text go? This is fantastic. I love this. It is customary. Fantastic. I'm pleased I got it right then. Should I do the single cross eye as I say it? Cthulhu Fatagan, Cthulhu Fatagan. Do you reckon that's the appropriate way to... I've just freaked out. She's uncomfortable. She's gone. She hates it when I do that. It's fair. Yes.
Sorry, my troubleshooting.
Oh, no, all good. In the interests of expediency, what do you share? How do you share? And what? Yeah, I just want to get an understanding of what kind of information you're sharing with Azure and with Lockie as they sit you down in the sitting room. You watch as Azure runs over, grabs a tray of tea, pours out some tea for you to sip on, and then encourages you to share whatever you feel you want to share. What information are you sharing? We can absolutely roleplay this, but I understand that you've just been through it. So it's like you might not want to just describe everything that's happened.
Harry at the start wants to name drop Figment.
How do you do that? I think that's an important one. I want to know how subtle you are. Yeah.
Talking about how we came across an entity that warned us about a demonic presence on the hammer.
Okay.
Is how I want to spin it.
Okay.
Can you say it how Harry says it? Because the wording of this is very specific, and I need to know. I need to know how Harry introduces. Because are you just going to be like, man, sometimes down in the Underdark, sometimes you see things, but it's just a figment of your imagination, just to see what happens. Or are you going for a bit more specified?
A bit more. Yeah,
okay,
this is it. We were when we were in battle with the with Obsidian Foot in his control over the giants. An entity from the giant network reached out named Figment to warn us about the demonic presence in the hammer, and that we should separate Obsidian Foot from the hammer. You ever heard of this Figment, Luke?
You watch as Azure shakes it. No, I've never heard of such a thing. Harry, can I have an insight check for Lockie, please?
You can.
I think it's probably this is obviously important information, but I think we would just probably be recapping most of the play-by-play that happened. So our descent into the Underdark, finding Bars, dealing with the Darrow, going to the Myconiid colony, all of that, and then also the mosaic as well with
looks like Hadar maybe. Yeah.
Yes, and Mare and Lockie on the mosaic, the Krator, all of that.
Do you share Lyra's experience with that weird sovereign?
She would have, yeah. She definitely would.
That's definitely up to Lyra. Yeah.
Cool. And do you share the presence of your soul coin that you got from Vice, Bart?
No.
Cool. Just need to know.
But we would probably be sharing the situation with the heiress, right? I don't think that's...
Yeah. I'm thinking about it, and everything that I know from meeting you guys in the Darrow all the way through, literally every session, every NPC we met, everywhere we traveled. I think the only thing that Bart is keeping is just the soul coin.
Are you also saying that you're the heir of the Liang clan and
yeah,
everything? Yeah, sweet.
Okay, awesome. Harry, I can see your insight was a 23.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The dice. +4.
That's huge.
If I ever wanted it, now was the time, so that's good.
Amazing.
Harry, as you focus on Lockie is a construct. He's a warforged, giant forged construct that doesn't have facial expressions that move. His mouth, his face is a single set of overlocking plates with these glowing eyes in the center. Very hard to read. But you don't bother reading his body. Your connection to Figment, your connection to your patron, and the connection to your heartstone, you begin sensing deeper than that. At Lockie's center, underneath the layers of armor, you can sense this spinning vortex of energy, far more powerful than the energy contained within the heartstones. Much more reminiscent of the energy that powered the dais down in the Underdark that the stone giants used. This is almost like the closest thing for us is a fusion reactor style thing. This is a spinning vortex of energy pulling in very tiny, minute amounts of matter and using some very, very advanced application of the weave to create energy out of it. And that is what powers Lockie. And I mean, Lyra, you know how powerful this core is. You and the team used it to activate the portal that brought the giants back at the end of Tyranny of Dragons. So you know that there's this power here. Harry, you read that. You feel the shifts and subtle changes in the energy that plays across the surface of the core as it emanates through Lockie's body, this network of electron, almost like veins carrying the information, carrying the energy through Lockie's body, and you watch that. There is no reaction to the name Figment, just mild confusion. You are very confident Lockie has no idea what Figment is, no connection there at all.
Okay, Harry would like to subconsciously tap in with, not subconsciously, but like non-verbally tap into Figment.
Yeah, as you once again call to your warlock patron, Figment.
I see it, Harry.
You sensed it too, right?
I sense it, Harry. I don't think he knows me. Maybe I am not like the others. Maybe I am something else.
Should we introduce you to him?
This is a risk, but...
In case it helps them make their decision, Bart would be following up from Harry's conversation with his involvement entering into that dream state with Harry. After he sort of nonchalantly explains that first part of the conversation, Bart is going to mention, speaking on that, when we were learning about the heartstones and everything, we came across odd names and mentions and worries of Anam. Lockie, what is your knowledge, Sinmare's and the Storm Giant's knowledge of Anam?
Anam is the Allmaker.
A deity?
Yes, a true god, a creator. Both mother and father to all the giants, a creator of this world, and the giants who walked upon its surface. Something happened to Anam long ago, after the other races came through the portals, after the giants, dwarves, and elves arrived here. Something happened, and giants have been unable to contact Anam, have been unable to reach or feel for him, feel for them since this event.
Was Anam a giant?
No, kind of. It's hard to say. I never spoke with Anam directly, but Sinmare did. Anam was a true deity, a god, a goddess.
Lockie, does Entity 417 ring a bell to you at all?
Well remembered, Matt. You checked your notes, have you?
I sure did.
As you say, Entity 417. I've got to be very specific with my wording on this. Let me just quickly pull it open.
I like specific.
As you say that,
417.
You watch as Lockie kind of shifts, going much straighter.
Oh shit.
The voice changes ever so slightly, dropping in pitch as Lockie's body seems to go stiff, and you hear, Entity 417 is eliminated. And then Lockie seems to relax and goes, no, I've never heard of it.
Huh.
You mentioned that Sinmare has talked to Anam before, yeah?
Yes, I believe it was fairly common for the giants, those who had proven themselves great creators, great inventors and thinkers, to speak with Anam. Anam was a god of creation, after all. A god who made things.
So she'd recognize Anam, just even if Anam didn't know he was himself, just based on the way he spoke, tone of voice, all that kind of stuff, right?
From the records I have, Anam was a very powerful entity. I think it would be hard to mistake Anam for anything else. Not to be too blunt, but the gods that you know today, they are primordial spirits more than they are true deities. No, Anam was something special, something unique as far as I'm aware.
But he's currently gone, right?
Yes. It seems that way.
What if he wasn't? What if, some of the programs that were, shut down or eliminated, instead of being shut down by whatever he was, maybe he was fragmented across a network, say, a network of
Well,
stones.
It's theoretically possible. I am an artificial mind and an artificial soul, but I exist within this form, and I believe if I die, I go somewhere else. Maybe it's something similar. It is possible if something happened to Anam, the mind was separated from the body and the power and went elsewhere. It's theoretically possible.
Would Sinmari have a way to sort of maybe find out if Anam was still around?
Maybe. This is all very intriguing. I shall have to make a note of this and talk to Sinmari. Do you have some clue leading you to believe this?
Well, there appears definitely some sort of correlation between the heartstones and what appears to be the soul. We do know that the predecessors who wielded these heartstones, their souls seem to be inhabiting the crystals. I do not believe it is a memory per se, or it seems to definitely be some sort of soul-like entity. I don't quite understand.
No, the heartstones should not trap souls. It is merely a way to record memories of past events. That it should be nothing more than that. They were never designed to trap a soul.
Lockie,
no.
When I fell unconscious during my fight against Obsidianfoot in the Underdark, and while I was unconscious, Sindaris reached out to me. He recognized me. He helped me out of the darkness and then back into the battle. He recognized me. He seemed confused as to why I was there. I don't think a mere memory would be able to do that. Surely.
This was in a moment of great stress when you were in mortal peril, correct?
Well, yes. I had just been kicked and fell many stories to my floor. And
Don't mean to insinuate that this was all in your mind, Niles, but have you considered that this was all in your mind during a moment of crisis?
I don't think so. I would like to think that my mind has been hardened over years of meditation to be able to protect myself from such situations.
Too many coincidental experiences.
We might need to get these examined. Perhaps there is something different about your heartstones. If they happened to theoretically contain a soul, then they would already meet the activation requirements, because they would recognize the presence of a giant. Oh dear.
What if it's many?
What if it's many?
We all weren't granted the same stone. I mean, Bart, for one, obtained his at a separate time and place, as did Threign. But they have the same experiences. What if all the stones contain souls?
No, they can't. Sinmari wouldn't have made such a mistake. It's an awful thought that the giant souls have been trapped for this whole time. No. That's unthinkable. No. Such an oversight would be impossible.
Not as a giant backup system.
I'm not insinuating that the soul is potentially trapped in the crystal, but there could be some sort of link or connection to it. The soul could still be moving freely still, surely. But this is beyond my realm of expertise.
The fucking coincidental timing of you rolling on the random magic table and getting the Ring of Mind Shielding right before this conversation is blowing my goddamn mind. What are the chances?
And it's non-attunement.
It's like, yeah. So it's just making me think of last Monday, because obviously we have sanity checks in our Curse of Strahd campaign, and the gang were driving me crazy. And as a joke, one of them said, "Oh, we should get the DM to make a sanity check." And I was like, "I'd love to." Natural 1, and it was.
No way! Oh dear.
Oh man. So okay, yeah. This is some incredible coincidental timing with this stuff. You see Lockie kind of sit back, somber, as he's reflecting on this. The idea that there would be souls potentially trapped inside the heartstones, really deeply, you can see deeply upsetting him, deeply unsettling him. And you can see Azure kind of clock this and lean forwards and kind of, yeah.
Yeah, if she sort of picks up that Lockie's feeling sad, like sort of about it, like you're like, oh my god, like, you know, his creator sort of is, you know, made like a giant mistake. It's like, Lockie, what if it was intentional in a good way? I mean, Sinmari must have known that there was like a bunch of conflict and crazy stuff going on, like right before all the giants disappeared, but maybe you could be seeing this as a positive thing. I mean, all the giants that are gone, you know, after the disappearing and the coming back and the ones that didn't come back, I mean, if there's stones could be found, I mean, it's not unreasonable to think that a soul that's trapped somewhere could be put back in a body. I mean, they could all come home.
Oh.
Lyra, you raise a good point. Could you make me a persuasion check, please, Lyra?
She can try.
She can certainly try. Lockie is an old friend of yours. I'll set the D. No, never mind. 7. You raise a good point, Lyra, but if I even consider the possibility that this was intentional, I have to then consider the possibility that I was left behind for the same reason, to bring the giants back someday, and that is, I was just left here for hundreds of years, Lyra, left to just rust and slowly break down. If you hadn't found me, I may not have ever activated again. It's the same thing, placing souls in stasis, as it were. But not stasis. You said it spoke to you. Sindaris? That was a storm giant, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Sindaris.
I knew Sindaris. He was a good friend. It is sad to consider that he might have been trapped this whole time inside a stone, unable to communicate, unable to...
I'm going to try something, because we haven't really done a lot of the giant stuff during this whole time.
You have on occasion. You have definitely.
I haven't actively, since we tried to reach out through the Heartstone, we haven't done anything since then.
No,
and
that's true.
I kind of want to just, as we're having this conversation, as he's recognizing Sindaris' name, I kind of want to just try and see if I'm getting any sort of inclination or any sort of feeling coming from the Heartstone, as if to channel Sindaris in this moment.
Niles, could I get you to make me a wisdom check, please? D20 plus your wisdom modifier. And you are going to be adding a +2 for this. I'm not going to tell you why, though. Part of a hidden thing you guys haven't figured out or seen yet, so I've got to keep this one secret, but you get a +2 to this roll.
Okay.
You guys have achieved a level of synchronicity in the most recent giant dream.
18 plus.
+2.
I'm going to roll again because I have advantage. I have my heroic inspiration from a previous session.
Yes, yep, you can spend. Oh, you also have your birthday inspiration. I knew there was something else I meant to say at the beginning of the session. Happy birthday, Matt, for previously. Hey! I knew there was something. I was like, that's why I was like, there must be more news. I knew there was something. It was sitting with me and bothering me.
I literally forgot my own birthday, so there you go.
Look, I get it too. As soon as you sort of hit your 30s, you just don't give a shit anymore. Like I said, I was going to do something for my 30th, but haven't done anything. Haven't organized a single thing.
Well, it was better. I rolled a 17 on that one, so +2, so that's a
17.
19.
So 19, yeah, +2, so 19 total.
19, yep.
Niles, as you focus and concentrate, similar to how you would meditate back at the Eris Temple, as you close your eyes for a moment, slow your breathing. Yeah, slow your breathing. As Lyra goes to sit down and comfort Lockie, you take this sort of 2-minute moment of quiet to quickly center yourself and concentrate. You feel the flow of energy, the flow of ki throughout your body as you concentrate. You're training in the way of sympathy, allowing you to connect with your own energy, synchronize with the energy inside of you. And you realize your heartstone. There's energy there too. You felt it before, but you've never tried to synchronize with it using your monastic training. I don't think you have used your way of sympathy. Yeah.
No.
And with that sudden realization that there's a pulse there, not too dissimilar to that of a heartbeat or the flow of energy moving throughout the body, you concentrate and synchronize with it. And as you do, your breathing begins to slow even more. You feel your heart begin to slow. Du-dum, du-dum. And then you hear a voice. Niles. And that is where we're going to leave off for tonight. Sorry, it's too good. I had a couple of things. I was like, oh, this could be a good cliffhanger, but you gave me the best possible one. That is where we're going to have to wrap up for tonight. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. We didn't even get to the Inkspren tonight, unfortunately. You guys will have to do a bit of an Explore of Oxenfurt. that'd be great. I can pull open my Oxenfurt city guide, and you can have a bit of a wander through Oxenfurt, because I've expanded on the Oxenfurt city guide since you guys were last there too. So there's loads of cool stuff to see.
We've got the university there as well. We've got Professor Grell and
yeah, you could jump back in with Celius Grell, let him know how his Society of Brilliance comrades are doing down in the Underdark. There's a lot of people to catch up with actually.
Didn't Simon have, or didn't Ember have the Sussa bark as well?
Ember does have Sussa bark with him. Yes, he does. Yeah, well remembered as well. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Massive thank you to the Eldritch Scribe for coming and bringing in all of those lovely people to come and raid. We really appreciate it. I think we've raided you a couple of times recently, but I'm guessing if you're here, we can't raid you right now. So we'll have to just raid you next time. No dramas. Thank you so much, everybody. We will leave it there for tonight. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast, you know what to do. Hit the like button, the subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a comment. Apparently, all these things appease the YouTube algorithm, as appeased as it can be. It really helps us out. Really appreciate it. For those of you watching live on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We're going to go and raid a lovely friend of the channel. While I'm loading that up, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Those of you watching on Twitch, you've still got the weekend ahead of you. For those who are listening to the podcast, I hope you've had a wonderful weekend, and make sure you go and check out the Aloft playthrough that is currently up on YouTube. Episodes 1 and 2 should be up by the time you're watching this recorded, possibly even episode 3. So much good stuff, and each one's about an hour long, so it should really fill your time nicely. Awesome. Let's go and raid. Who can we go raid? We've raided Vacuta a couple of times. Anyone else want to raid tonight? Looks like there's another. Nah, that's a replay. Let's go raid Vacuta. I think it's a common raid for us now on a Wednesday night. So let's go get that raid going. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, and from all of us
here tonight. Farewell, Harry.
Farewell, guys. We'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.